Hey everyone, it's Biscord back for another video, and this one has been quite long awaited, especially for me because I waited like a few weeks. Reason why? This is Muscular vs Izuku round 2, which I was so excited for. I even expressed it in my last videos, but then these chapters weren't as long as I expected, so there's that. Anyways, I will be having fun and hopefully so will you. With that said, if you enjoy, just consider subscribing because, well, why not? You'd want more of this, wouldn't you? With that said, let's get into it. So, if you're new to the channel, let's just speedrun this introduction so we can get to the point. Now, with that said, my name is Biscord. I make content on anything I want, but for now, it's anime. What you're watching is me reading the latest chapters of My Hero Academia with a voiceover over it in order to add a sense of feeling to it instead of it just being a boring review. So, think of this kind of like the Comicstorian reviews and voiceovers from his channel. Now, today's topic will be Muscular vs Izuku, which is chapter 308 and 309. With that said, yeah. I hope you enjoy and let's get into it. Previously on My Hero Academia. It's time for a bloodbath! When suddenly Muscular sent flying back into a nearby building. Muscular, no wonder my danger senses were tingling. No way! That voice! Could it be the same runt that got me into jail? It's you, isn't it? There's just no way! How could I forget you? You're that kid, right? Midoriya-kun! I missed you, buddy. I was getting bored right out of my mind with these small fry. Izuku just stands there, staring at Muscular with this blank look in his eyes. But Muscular won't have it. He better not run away. Muscular grabs a rock from the broken floor and crushes it into a small object, sticking it into his eyes. Don't be mistaken. I should be saying some grand shit about revenge, but nah, I'm not here for a fucking monologue. I just want to do whatever the fuck I want with my quirk. I would have been content to go on a regular rampage, as usual, but after the stunt that you pulled on the side of that mountain, oh boy, why would I ever go back? Yeah! It's time! Muscular jumps at the building where Izuku's standing. He digs his hands right into the side and rips the side off the top of the building, sending it flying it into the air. Let's settle this with a rematch! Meanwhile, Turtleneck is wondering what the hell is going on with all of this noise. She runs out when she suddenly sees an Izuku covered in a thick smoke appearing and hands Grand to her. As he says, the collateral damage is through the roof. Get it? And with that, Izuku bolts off before asking a previous user if he's done well. He gets a response from the 6th user saying he has done enough, but he shouldn't overuse the smokescreen quirk because Muscular could use that to his advantage. Izuku needs to get out of his own head. He shouldn't rely too much on these quirks and then end up making a mistake. Instead, Izuku needs to think of these quirks as a tool in order to get that right mindset. And with that, Izuku covers the entire area with a fog using his quirk and then flying up into the air thinking that smoke screen will lower Muscular's range of vision and probably catch him that way. When suddenly Muscular jumps out of the smoke towards Izuku with intent to murder. But Izuku saw this coming, or more accurately, felt it. His danger sense worked in his favor and he was able to evade every single attack Muscular had thrown in his way. As if he could see the future. Using this newfound skill, Izuku uses the opportunity to grab Muscular with the black whip and slam him into the side of a building. I was hoping you weren't gonna resort to such petty tricks, Midoriya-kun. Izuku interrupts him and asks where All For One and Tomura are located, but Muscular won't have it. I don't know and I don't care. He told me I could do whatever I wanted after he freed me. Now stop changing the subject. You're ruining the mood. I'm not here for small talk. Clash into me with everything you've got. Izuku just wants to calm down the situation and talk like humans. Why does Muscular have these urges to rampage? To live without regrets. Regrets of? Regret not being able to fight you, Midoriya. Is there a path, any path, that Imasuji Goto could take? None at all! Now, take your bloody therapy and shove it up your ass! I only live for one thing. Blood, guts, and the thrill of battle! And with that, Muscular gets larger and larger. More muscle fibers on top of muscle fibers. Muscular is ready to go all out. It seems Izuku's turning stale in the thought of Tomura Shigaraki. But that's when Muscular's tendons snap, one by one, like elastic bands. Muscular is at his weakest point right now. It's now or never. It seems like Grand's vibration didn't affect Muscular after all. If it didn't, Muscular would have jumped straight towards Izuku instead of jumping towards the building. But this can't be it. I just wanted a battle of full power. When Izuku interrupts Muscular and knocks him up with a single strike. This is Izuku's full power. Meanwhile, somewhere else, two heroes are running towards a distress call in order to catch Muscular when they look up and they see he's already been defeated, being carried by Izuku's black whip along the sky. Everyone's grateful, but no one has gotten a chance to thank him. Instead, they can only remember the hero's voice sounding familiar, but they can't put their finger on it. After all, Izuku has changed so much since they last saw him. He's a different person now. We then cut to Izuku making a pit stop by the police station where he's halted by military personnel. Stop right there! State your purpose! Wait, that guy! He's the escapee! And with that, Izuku's job is done. He jumps off relieved that his danger senses calmed down. He takes a phone and immediately calls All Might saying he'll be right there. We then cut to a scene of All Might standing in an abandoned alleyway like some weirdo, where Izuku makes a pit stop and gives All Might a briefing on what just happened. There have been no recorded injuries. Izuku's limbs have been saved, this time due to a power stabilizing mid-gauntlets given to him. It's not strong enough to handle his full power, so he shouldn't just overdo himself before his fight with Tomura. Wait a minute. This is Izuku's full power. You fucking liar! Anyways, All Might's phone rings with the cheesiest ringtone ever. Mosh mosh, orumaite desu. We then cut to Hawk's best genius and Endeavor fighting villains around the city. Hawk's just called to check on Izuku's health. Izuku had to run though because he has more civilians to save, and that's when Hawks and All Might have a private discussion about how All Might and Izuku shouldn't just do everything alone. They need help, whether they like it or not. We then cut to a flashback of Izuku after he woke up. Well, you were told before that if you hurt yourself again, it would be game over in the moving department, but luckily, that's not the case here. In the past, you've gotten injuries from within, but this time, most of your injuries came from outside, so be grateful. Along with this, whether it be an effect of your quirk or not, your internal structure seems to be protected from the inside and out, as if you had a force field around you. Your injuries, as well as your anatomy, have just been changed. They're completely different. Even so, you still need to be careful. And with that, the doctor leaves Izuku, Inko, and All Might alone to discuss the One for All, where All Might goes into detail explaining to Izuku's mom the history and what this quirk actually is. With that said, Izuku tells All Might and his mother that he won't be going back to UA. It's for the best. It doesn't matter the cost. Izuku has to get stronger and help everyone as the little Izuku Might that he used to pretend to be as a child. But don't worry, Izuku will be back. All Might knows that even if he tries to stop Izuku, Izuku will just leave regardless. So it's best that All Might tags along just to help. We then cut to Izuku granting Nana Shimura's last wish, to say hi to her old friend Gran Torino, where Gran Torino tells Izuku that he shouldn't be too stubborn in trying to redeem Tomura, because sometimes death can be its own form of salvation. And with that said, it's time to repay the favor to the legal villains, as the top 3 heroes and Izuku decide to team up. And with that said, that is the end of this video. I know everyone's already planning to jump out. It's like, this is where I head out. Thank you for the video. Bye. But before you leave, just please leave a like if you actually managed to get this far, because that means you clearly were invested and you enjoyed this video. Also, just consider subscribing. There's a little icon on the bottom right corner of the screen. It has my little logo on it. So click on that, hover over it, and press the subscribe button, or go underneath this video and hit the subscribe button, because that really does help this channel grow. Now, as for my review and my thoughts towards this video, I honestly loved it. Muscular's whole personality reminds me of that one meme.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
And and I honestly wished, I was disappointed that the chapter was so short. I expected it to be branching off up to 3 chapters long, but instead it was like 1 chapter and then like 3 pages of dialogue, which did disappoint me, but it is what it is. I cannot change anything. For this life I cannot change. But I did love it, and that whole situation, that whole conversation that Izuku and his mom had when Izuku said that he was leaving UA, honestly made me feel like I wanted to cry. The way they were connecting, the way Izuku's mom was crying, the way he was holding her, it just brought up some emotions, and I honestly loved that part of the series specifically. As for Izuku having his 6th quirk being smokescreen, I did not expect it coming. I did not expect another utility quirk, but that's why I made a video before this explaining why One for All is such a weak quirk, or specifically why it's so based around utility. And I definitely recommend you do go check that video out. It's not just a self-plug. If you want to know why, then I definitely say just go check that out. Aside from that, I am done with this video. I'm going to be playing a guitar riff or background of Megalovania, Undertale's Megalovania, just because I felt like it. I was bored and I wanted to waste some time. So if you actually want to go listen to that, there is timestamp in the bottom of the video, or you can just wait until I'm done talking. And again, if you made it this far, thank you. I love you for all of the support, and I hope to see you again in the next video, where I will be talking about Stain. I promise myself I won't be making any other video except for Stain. And then I'll continue. But with that said, this has been Biscord signing out. I hope to see you again in the next video. Bye. この世界の片隅で今